It's one of the first things that greets you when you arrive in the Isle of Man. The promenade here in Douglas goes back to the 1930s, and since then, very little has changed.
The consultation period ended on the 28th of January. We had 400 responses to the consultation. So firstly, a big thank you really to everybody who took the time and effort to tell us their views on the prom. Very wide-ranging views, but I'm very pleased to say that there's been a consensus in favour of a scheme, and that's good news because it gives a basis for the politicians to bring forward the necessary funding to deliver something.
Are you in a position to tell us what that proposal is yet?
Well, it's a bit early yet. We are literally drawing together all the responses at the moment and trying to establish exactly what people see as the priorities for the promenade. There is a little bit of consensus building around the possibility of a central reservation and moving the horse trams perhaps to one side of the promenade. But as I say, it's too early to really draw any firm conclusions. We will, as the next part of the process, start to draw up plans very carefully with various technical stakeholders to make sure that what we then bring forward is practical and doable. And obviously we'll be taking our steer as well from the departmental politicians and the Comin and the like. Yeah.
And that is really the point, is you can only do what you're told to do, I suppose. At the end of the day, it's a political thing, because the horse trams, I'm sure you gather, is going to be a major hot potato for a lot of people.
Yes, it is. The department and the minister, I can tell you, we're all a bit perplexed at the sort of the press saying that we're going to scrap the horse trams.
Okay, well, let's get. Aren't you then? What's
well, there's no intention to scrap the horse trams. We merely tabled a series of options that people could consider, and the consensus back from that consultation is that people would like to see the horse trams remain in one form or another. We have had diametrically opposed views on some subjects. For example, some people would like to see no parking whatsoever to protect the sea views and the like, and others would like to see a dramatic expansion of the parking. So it's going to be a bit of a wisdom of Solomon feat to actually decide what is in the long-term best interests of the island in using this important strategic route.
Let's get back to the physicality, because that's what you know about. I mean, you've seen the condition of this promenade now, and it hasn't basically been altered for a long time. What condition is it in?
Well, it's in a pretty ropey condition. I think everybody can see that for themselves. And essentially it's concrete slabs with a black overlay. The black overlay is actually Trinidad Lake asphalt, which is the best quality asphalt money can buy. It was put down in the 1930s, but the slabs act as vibrating plates, and underneath the slabs the material there has started to settle differentially. So the slabs are going up and down. Also, with that type of construction, there's movement between the slabs, temperature movement and moisture movement, and that causes reflective cracking to go up through the black material that's overlaying the slabs. And so we've got cracking all over the place. We've got cracking that's been patched and has cracked again and again. We've got settlement of the slabs, so it's a bit of a switchback ride down there now. We've got particular stressing in areas where the buses pull up and depart from. So the overall feel of the place is a little bit shabby, perhaps a little bit seedy, some people have said. And really, for one of the island's capital and one of the primary locations on the island, we feel that something now really must be done. And we're hopeful now in moving something forward.
Yeah, some people say it looks more like Beirut when they come off the boat and first trip, and the first impressions are important, aren't they?
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Now, are we in danger of this whole thing falling into the sea? I mean, what condition would it be in if it was just left as it is in another 20, 30 years?
Well, the sea wall is structurally sound, we're told. With a high tide and a sea surge in the Irish Sea, we're told by our colleagues in the Water Authority that the water level could potentially rise to 800 millimetres above the top of the sea wall, but only every 200 years. Now, that's, what statistics are like. That could be in a few weeks' time, or it might be in a couple of 100 years' time. But we don't feel that that level of risk at the moment constitutes sufficient a threat to look at complete replacement or heightening of the sea wall. The other snag with increasing the height of the seawall would be that we'd obviously start to obscure the sea view. So there would be an amenity loss if we went down that approach. But there is a residual risk there, but that's the sort of feel for it at the moment, so we're not planning to do anything in that regard at this stage.
But overall, the construction's okay, it's going to last us for a bit longer if things don't move along at the pace you're hoping for.
Yeah, the seawall itself is not an issue for us structurally. The prom and the road condition is an issue for us. Obviously, both the aesthetic of that and also the structural soundness of the highway itself. It's life expired and needs to be replaced.
Well, can you give me a timetable finally? I understand that you're not the politician in all this. So, what is the sort of timetable you think you'll be working to see some sort of movement and results for the public to see?
Well, I'm optimistic as I stand here today. We hope to be able to produce this report summarising all the results in the next month. We hope to be able to then crystallise that out working with the politicians a month after that. And then we hope to be able to go back to the public with a general arrangement drawing showing a little bit more detail of what we're actually proposing to do and seek their comments again. Then we'll move to submit a planning application. That process is likely to take 3 or 4 months in itself, but we do, subject to the Tynwald budget vote, we do have a provisional amount of £1 million in the budget for next financial year, and also some follow-up sums in the following financial years. Each of those would be subject to a new Tynwald vote again, but provisionally there's £7 million in the papers to bring this forward. So we may be able to make a start on this in the autumn of this year, and that start would be to do a first phase that's likely to be from the sea terminal perhaps down as far as Regent Street, and then continuing phases would take it up from there.
Will that see a complete closure at times of the promenade and major disruption?
Well, there will be some disruption. I think I'd be lying if I said there wouldn't be any disruption, but because it's wide, that gives us the potential to keep traffic flowing to a degree, while still perhaps working on the other half of the prom. So it may be possible to do it in 2 halves and keep the traffic flowing somewhat, but I'd be lying if I said it will all be sweetness and light, because there will be clearly disruption whilst we're doing the works.
And £7 million, that'll do it, will it?
The amount we need will depend on the final layouts and choices, in particular in regard to relocating the trams and the like. To do a basic job from the sea terminal right the way down to the MER at the other end of the prom, we're looking at about £10 million. Obviously the £7 million that's very tentatively earmarked at the moment would get us a good way down, and I'm sure that Tynwald will take a view on future funding when they've seen the results of the first stages.